So we're going to go ahead and go over the features and benefits of the Terminator 3000EI. But before we actually start talking about each one of those, I wanted to keep in mind what it is that makes a great ride-on floor scraper. There are four things that I came up with. The first being power. The second is the weight of the machine. The third is attack angle. If you think about the geometry of hitting different types of material that you're trying to remove, and getting that right attack angle is critical. And then, of course, tooling is also a very important part. And we make a number of different types of blades, a number of different types of attachments that go on this machine to make it a very, very effective flooring removal machine. In fact, I'm going to do a whole section on just those blades alone and what they're used for. But you know, there's another important part of the equation for a good ride-on floor scraper that's not even part of the machine. It's the operator. You need a very effectively trained operator to be able to draw out of this machine all its potential. And what we offer with Bartell Global is actually, at my position as a product trainer, I go out and teach people how to use this machine most effectively. I get calls just about every day from different contractors asking what type of tooling they should use on different types of flooring, those kinds of questions. I'm happy to take those out any way I can. But talking about this machine, what it is, it's a 48-volt battery-powered machine. It's got 8 6-volt batteries that are over 400 amp hours each. Makes for a very deep well of energy that we have in this battery pack. It's pushing a 10 horsepower motor that's delivering over 1,700 pounds of torque to the back wheels. Very powerful machine, but here's really the important point. It delivers it at a variable speed. If you'll notice that when you power this machine, you hear nothing. You hear nothing until you give it power, just like you do your car with the foot throttle. You go slow, or you can speed up, and you can go as fast as you want to go, or you can go any speed in between. And I'll tell you why that's critical for a number of different reasons. If you're driving this machine down a 5-foot hall, now you want to turn, you want to drive through a 30-inch door. When you're able to do that as slow as you need to go, that is absolutely critical. So when you can drive this machine, when you can turn it literally that slow, when you can creep that slow through the doorway, it saves the door jams, it saves the door handles, saves the sight of your brand new machine. It's really important. And then once you're in and you're on the surface that you're actually removing, you can remove material as fast as you want to go. But as you get to the walls, you can slow down and you can just creep up and kiss those walls. Back up, go as fast as you want, then just go as fast as you want forward, and then just slow down, creep up and just kiss those walls. It makes it so that you're able to basically remove 95% of all the material with the machine. Very, very little material do you have to remove by hand. Great points when it comes to power. As far as the weight of the machine, is really nice. The weight of this machine is 2,760 pounds. And so that's how it comes from the factory. But you can take removable weights off. You see that you have removable weights down at the jaw of the machine. You have them on the wheels. You also have them on the rear of the machine. You can take those off. You can get this machine down to about 2,400 pounds, 2,333 pounds. So if you have a floor that you need a lighter machine, maybe an elevator that you're worried about the weight, you can take this machine, get it down to just over 2,400 pounds. Or conversely, if you have a floor that is very difficult to remove, you can add weight to the machine. You can actually get it over almost 3,800 pounds if you need to. Now the reality is 95% of the time, maybe more, you don't need that much weight. But it's really nice to know that you have that option if it becomes necessary. Another really nice feature about this machine is you'll notice that there are no exposed hydraulic lines anywhere on this machine. They're all protected inside the body of the machine. There's no electrical lines either. They're all the sensitive components are inside the protection of the metal box itself. And why that's important is if you think about if you're removing luxury vinyl plank or maybe hardwood flooring that are planks, usually with that type of material, you do want to go from the side to remove it. But sometimes, say if you're removing down a hallway, you have to go with the length of those planks. And those planks can come up. If you're not protected, it will actually damage your hydraulic lines. And it happens with certain machines. Another thing though that is nice, that having been said, is you'll notice that this machine has removable panels. There's 5 panels around this machine that are very easily removed. You just you loosen these bolts, these panels come right off. Now for maintenance, it's the maintenance is done very, very easily because everything is readily accessible once you remove those panels. You put them back on, you tighten them down, and you're ready to go again. It's really a great feature of this machine. You'll notice as well is the Terminators all have a complete floorboard. We don't have just little pegs that you ride on with your feet. We have a complete floorboard, and that's not just for comfort for the operator, but it's also a protection for the operator. Talking about those that hardwood floors, those planks or luxury vinyl planks, they come up. If your feet are just on pegs, you're susceptible to injuring yourself. But those planks want to come up. They come up underneath, and the operator is completely protected. It's really a nice feature. Another thing that's nice that you can see from your angle is the Terminator comes with an LED light. If you've been on any amount of flooring removal projects, you probably came across projects where there's not permanent light. They have those dangling yellow little lights, 40-watt bulbs going through the building, and you can see to get around with those, but you can't really see to work under those conditions. And so with an LED light, it takes really very little power from the pack, but you're able to light up the area that you're trying to work on, and it's really, really a nice feature. Okay, so we can take a look at the controls, the gauges, as well as the warning lights on the T3000EI. First of all, it's got a real nice ergonomic seat, very comfortable with armrests. And on the left side, we've got the emergency brake. The emergency brake is adjustable. You can adjust it as the pad wears so that you can keep a real nice tight brake on the wheels. Also, you'll notice that here is how we control the lower jaw. You can raise the jaw with this arm, or you can lower the jaw as well with this control. Here are your valve controls: forward, reverse, left, and right. And just takes a little bit of time to get used to. Very smooth operating machine. Also, I think we spoke about it earlier, but the switch for your LED light is right here. And also a neat little feature that this machine has is it's got a USB port, a couple of them actually, so that you can keep your devices powered up. Stepping over to this side of the machine, we've got our on-off switch. It's lockable, so you can lock this machine off at night, take the key home, no one can mess with it. And when you power the machine, your gauge here is for your battery, and what you see is you've got 10 bars on this battery gauge. And what happens as you're running this machine and you're using the power up in the pack, those bars will become hollow. And what happens is you get to maybe around 3 bars and you'll be driving, all of a sudden the machine will stop. And if you get up, if you go slow, you can drive it around, but if you try to remove material, the machine will stop. And what that is a safety feature. It's the computer is putting the machine in limp mode. So it's telling you that you've used the energy out of the pack to the point where if you continue to use energy, you're going to damage the batteries. And so it won't allow you to do that. It will allow you to get over to a charging station so you can charge the machine. It'll allow you to get up onto your truck, onto your trailer, to get it back to the shop so you can charge it there. But it's not going to allow you to keep removing material and damage the batteries. It also has an hour indicator light. When you first power this machine up, it will have a P, and then it has a number, and then after a few seconds it changes to a K and a second number. So what you want to do though, the important one is that P when you first pull it up, and that's telling you pump hours. That's basically telling you how long you've been hearing that noise. And that's the important number for maintenance, so you know when to change your hydraulic filters, your hydraulic fluid. If you're renting this machine out, it tells you how long the renter actually ran the machine for. It's good information to have. In front of it, we've got 2 red lights. One red light is for an oil filter clogging warning light, and also the other one is hydraulic fluid overheating light. So if you have clogged your oil filter, it will warn you. If you have overheated the machine, it will warn you as well. And then in front of that is a potentiometer. What the potentiometer does is it gives, if you turn it all the way to the left, no matter how hard you push down on the throttle, all you're going to be able to get is 70% power. And then you can turn it to the right and it will give you progressively more and more until it gets all the way to 100%. Why that's nice, if you have an operator that maybe has not used the machine much, he tends to be a little bit of a lead foot, you can turn it all the way to the left and the most he's going to get out of the machine is 70%. And you know, you're going to remove most of your material at 70 or 80% anyway. But say if you want to, if you're working in a mall and you offload this machine on the loading dock and maybe your project is actually way on the other side of the mall, you can turn it up to 100%. You can go over 200 feet a minute and get over to your project very quickly so that you can begin your work. A really, really nice design feature. Also has an amber warning light. It's got for a fire, it's got a fire extinguisher. Also, it has the backup alarms for the machine as well. But let me show you what I really, really like about this machine. It's in fact, it's completely unique to the Terminator, and that is how the batteries are stored. When you lift this lid, you can see all the batteries. There are 8 6-volt batteries, over 420 amp hour batteries. You'll notice that these are wet cell batteries, but 90% of the Terminators that we sell now, maybe more than that, are AGM batteries. They're completely maintenance free. There's nothing to do to them. And what I wanted to show you about this pack is you'll notice that all of these batteries are inside of a black container. They're all sit inside of a metal container. And if you take this back panel off, you loosen 4 bolts, you take that back panel off, and you'll see dedicated forklift points for just the batteries alone in this one container. And it makes it so that you can have this battery pack out in literally 5 minutes with a forklift, or a modified pallet jack does it as well. And so you take that panel off, you unplug it, the pack is ready to come out that fast. It's nice for maintenance, but where it comes in really handy is, say you're a company that has a day shift and then they have a swing shift and they want to be able to run this machine for both of them. You can easily remove this pack. You can put a fresh pack in and plug it back in. Now the machine is ready to go for a swing shift. It's a really neat, unique design feature for the Terminators. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to reposition the machine. I'm going to get up on a workbench because I want to be able to show you the features that are down low on the machine. Some of them are really, really important. Okay, from this angle, the first thing you see are the forklift points. Both of them makes the machine easily lifted onto trucks and onto trailers, onto loading docks and that kind of a thing. Guys will also use them for tie down points, run straps through, chains through, although we do have tie down points at this part of the machine, as well as in between the 2 drive wheels there is also a center tie down point as well. Mentioned earlier about all the panels that easily come off so that you can do maintenance on the machine. Thought I'd just show you really quick one that comes off at this point. And there's your hydraulic filter. Nice and protected, but yet very, very accessible, very easy to get to. And you can see the machine is very easy to work on because everything is readily accessible inside. You put your panels back on, tighten them down, and you're ready to go again. Another thing you'll notice with this machine is the easily removed weights. So you have 3 of them up here. You can add weights to this if you want, or you can take the weights off if you need to get the machine lighter. As well as back over here, these wheel weights are weights as well. Take these 2 little nuts off, that weight comes off. You have 2 weights back here that are easily removed. You can also add weights to the back. You can add weights into the forklift points as well. And so you can get this machine up to almost 4,000 pounds or down around 2,400 pounds. Another thing that is really nice about this machine, if you've ever removed VCT, that kind of flooring where it's very, very sticky, the glue never completely dries, well, it sticks to everything, including your tires. But the Terminator has wheel scrapers. You'll notice a set here and a set there. And you adjust those so they come down and just barely touch the wheel, so that as you drive, you're shaving that wheel all the time. You're keeping it nice and clean. Nothing ever sticks to it. It's a really, really nice feature. I've saved kind of what I think is the best for last. I want to show you something about the jaw that I think is probably the best thing that we've done to this machine in probably 10 years. Let me show you what it is. You'll notice that the jaw, of course, raises and lowers, but also what you can do is you can pull this pin and you can adjust the attack angle like that. So you can actually bring it down, and you can change the attack angle very, very easily. And why that's important, because in years past, when you wanted to get a very aggressive attack angle, you had to lift the machine up higher and higher and higher. And in doing that, what you're doing is you're transferring the weight from the front of the machine, where you really need it, to the back of the machine, the higher you lift it. You also take the geometry, you make it less effective, because it becomes like a scissor effect. So when you come up against something, it wants to scissor before it finally takes the material up. But when you're able to keep the machine low to the ground so that you're coming directly in on the material, it makes for a much more aggressive removal machine. And there's no hydraulic lines. You just it's very robust. There's nothing at all there to break. Another good thing about this machine, you'll notice we have a 13-inch jaw in here. If I pull the pin, that's how the tooling comes off and goes back in. But I wanted to show you, you notice that we have two different points where you can pin this jaw, and I'll show you why we do that. So when you put the jaw in, what you want to do first of all is slam it all the way shut so that the two surfaces meet. And then you can put the pin in the front, or you can put the pin in the back. The reason we do that is in the front, that's what we call a hard mount. It doesn't go anywhere left or right. But in the back is what we call the articulating mount. It allows that jaw to move back and forth. Why that's important is that when you're removing flooring, and if you happen to run over some of the carpet or some of the VCT, it doesn't lift your jaw out of your removal trench. The jaw stays level to the floor, even if the machine moves back and forth a little bit. So those are the points for the Terminator T3000EI. I think there was probably 34 points, I think I counted, for this machine. Really, really a nice flooring removal machine.
If you like this video, click the subscribe button below or check out our other videos to the right.